The CogNarr ecosystem is a novel approach designed to facilitate functional cognition in large groups, especially those characterized by thousands to millions of participants. It leverages recent developments in cognitive science, artificial intelligence, natural language processing, and related fields to promote rich communication and information processing. The concept paper proposes a vision for how these technologies can be scaled and applied to large group cognition, with an emphasis on promoting further scientific advancement. In the CogNarr ecosystem, a group is viewed as an organism that uses a cognitive architecture to sense the world, process information, remember, learn, predict, make decisions, and adapt to changing conditions. The ecosystem is conceived as an extensible set of technologies, resources, applications, tools, libraries, and services that facilitate group cognition, particularly in the context of deliberation, strategizing, collaborative problem-solving, and decision-making. The paper highlights the need for this project, given the limitations of current social media platforms and other online tools in supporting functional group cognition. It also emphasizes the timeliness of the project, as societies face numerous unsolved or inadequately solved problems that exacerbate human suffering and can lead to social unrest. The CogNarr ecosystem is intended to be developed within an open-source framework under an appropriate governance system, allowing for third-party enhancements and provision of services. This approach aims to ensure transparency, build trust among users, and maximize the safe and effective use of the technology. The concept of cognitive architecture is central to the CogNarr ecosystem, reflecting the idea that societal systems can be viewed as components of a society's cognitive architecture. The paper connects this concept to previous work on designing and implementing societal systems that serve the common good, emphasizing the importance of developing and testing new designs for group cognitive architectures. In summary, the CogNarr ecosystem represents a significant step forward in facilitating group cognition at scale, leveraging cutting-edge technologies to promote rich communication, information processing, and decision-making in large groups. By addressing the limitations of current platforms and tools, this ecosystem has the potential to enhance our capacity to address and solve problems, prevent and recover from harm, and identify and act on shared purpose. The CogNarr ecosystem is a global web of generative models and intelligent systems, with humans at its core. It facilitates group cognition on a large scale by creating an interactive platform for users to share narratives across various topics and domains. This ecosystem can potentially serve as a node in the network of intelligence envisioned by Friston et al., depending on user desires. Additionally, CogNarr can be viewed as a type of narrative information management (NIM) system, which manages a collection of narratives to support information gaps, situational awareness, and intelligence synthesis. Active inference, a Bayesian description of cognition and self-organization, plays a central role in the CogNarr project. It conceptualizes cognition as a four-part cyclic process of predict right-pointing arrow act right-pointing arrow sense right-pointing arrow learn, where actions are viewed as part of cognition. An agent favors choices that ensure the greatest resolution of uncertainty, under the constraint that preferred outcomes are realized. This process is an optimization process, where the objective function being minimized is expected variational free energy. In the context of active inference, cognition can be functional or dysfunctional, depending on whether it supports or hinders an agent's thriving. Dysfunctional cognition can arise from inadequacies related to 13 hallmarks of basal cognition identified by Leone, including valence, sensing, discrimination, memory storage and recall, learning, problem-solving, communication, motivation, anticipation, attention, self-identity, normativity, and intention. The CogNarr ecosystem is designed to facilitate functional cognition at scale by addressing the quality of the cognitive architecture that prescribes and supports hallmark processes. In a group setting, the cognitive architecture includes its members, norms, rules, mechanisms, institutions, tools, systems, and/or procedures that facilitate or guide cognition. The CogNarr ecosystem can be viewed as part of the cognitive architecture of the person or group using it, and its details matter. From an active inference perspective, group cognition rests on the communication of member beliefs and consensus building with respect to those beliefs. A person's beliefs and expectations can be referred to as a belief model, which is an agent's internal model of how the world works relative to some situation. CogNarr aims to record a user's belief model, externalize it, make it explicit and transparent, and then share it with others to facilitate group cognition. Humans tend to experience their beliefs and make sense of the world largely through narratives. CogNarr builds on this propensity by transforming internal narratives into explicit, external belief models, which are then communicated. These externalized belief models are referred to as stories or narratives, and are represented as a special type of computational graph called a story graph. Story graphs are the core innovation on which the CogNarr ecosystem is based, and are used to curate, understand, and reason with high-quality information about human experience, beliefs, and expectations. Creating a story graph takes effort, but doing so allows and facilitates group cognition at scale. A story can communicate a user's experience, understandings, views, questions, and concerns regarding a situation, including explanations about what a situation means and how and why it came to be. Stories can also convey predictions, beliefs, uncertainties, and proposed solutions to problems. The act of sharing stories and interacting about stories helps a group to better understand the beliefs, concerns, desires, and expectations of its members, facilitating deliberation, strategizing, collaborative problem-solving, and decision-making in the large group setting. The CogNarr ecosystem facilitates group cognition at scale by representing narratives as story graphs, which are abstract, natural language independent meaning representations. A completed story consists of a collection of passages, each with associated metadata and artifacts, and a meaning representation of each passage, called a story graph fragment. The story graph integrates these fragments, providing a structure for inference and analysis. This representation can be translated into multiple natural languages, models, or alternative meaning representations, serving as an interlingua. The purpose of the story graph is to reduce ambiguity, provide a human and computer-readable format, enable inference and analysis, and facilitate translation. Graph-based meaning representations, such as the abstract meaning representation, AMR, excel at representing structured information and are easily understood by humans and computers. A story graph can be translated into one or more models, which conduct inference, compute with uncertainties, and generate predictions. Two characteristic models are logic models, interpreting formulas of classical or non-classical logic, and probabilistic models, written in a universal probabilistic programming language, PPL. Like general other models, such as graph matching, distributional, or specialized PPL models, can be constructed depending on story characteristics, query types, and computational goals. The initial CogNarr version will include a small set of models, while a mature version can translate story graphs into many possible models, each serving a particular purpose. The choice of model depends on story characteristics, queries, and computational resources. For example, a graph matching model can assess similarities between story graphs, while a distributional model can answer queries about story meaning. The algebraic Julia ecosystem, which approaches scientific modeling from an applied category theory perspective, is also of interest in this project. In summary, the CogNarr ecosystem represents narratives as story graphs, which can be translated into multiple models, enabling inference, analysis, and prediction. The choice of model depends on story characteristics, queries, and computational goals, and the ecosystem can be extended to include various models, facilitating group cognition at scale. The CogNarr ecosystem is a novel system designed to facilitate group cognition at scale, leveraging various models in neurosymbolic logic, pre-trained language models, Bayesian and non-Bayesian statistical models, and active inference models. It aims to create a comprehensive meaning representation of complex stories, allowing users to verify the system's understanding and interact with the story graph through tailored views. The system can also handle uncertainty in stories, translating them into probabilistic models for generating possible outcomes or distributions over outcomes. In story construction, each passage is translated into a story graph fragment, which is then merged into the growing story graph. This graph can be translated into code for one or more models, alternative meaning representations, or various natural languages. When creating a story graph fragment, a storyteller can input sentences as well as metadata and artifacts, such as tables and charts, which are integrated into the models. The system's ability to handle uncertainty is demonstrated through examples like weather forecasting and character actions, where probabilistic models are employed to generate sets of possible outcomes. This allows users to ask questions about the story and receive answers based on the model's execution. Additionally, the system can differentiate between various levels of uncertainty experienced by the storyteller, readers, and the system itself, providing a nuanced understanding of the story's meaning and context. Overall, the CogNarr ecosystem offers a sophisticated approach to understanding and interacting with complex narratives, leveraging cutting-edge technologies in machine learning and artificial intelligence to facilitate group cognition and collaborative storytelling. The CogNarr ecosystem is a tool designed to facilitate group cognition at scale, enabling users to create, edit, and share narratives through a story graph. This system utilizes advanced technologies such as natural language processing, knowledge graphs, and probabilistic programming to translate text into probabilistic models. The story graph serves as an interlingua, allowing for efficient computation and human understanding of complex narratives. In the CogNarr ecosystem, users can input text passages which are then translated into story graph fragments. These fragments are merged into a larger story graph, guided by user-supplied metadata and system feedback. Users can view the story graph, predictions, and outcomes to verify that the system understands the intended meaning of input. Advanced versions of CogNarr could include images or other objects as artifacts and generate animations or multimedia as part of story playback. The use of both story graph and model representations is necessary because a model might represent only a portion of a story graph, and humans are likely to grasp the meaning of a graph more easily and faster than the meaning of code. Furthermore, some computational methods are more efficient or simpler on graphs compared to code. Editing in rounds allows groups to edit stories over a series of rounds, with the system providing feedback on similarities and differences between stories. This process helps the group understand the perspectives of its members and hone in on a well-supported, favored decision. The selected decision could be in the form of a policy outlining a series of actions, potentially including if-then statements. Reporting by the system in each round helps the group understand the range of stories, their characteristics, and the evolution of stories during rounds. This three-step process makes group cognition explicit and transparent, generating a history of narrative evolution that can be recalled and used for learning and evaluation. The quality of the group cognitive process itself could be evaluated, and the history serves as a record of majority and minority opinions, which could be evaluated by the group in hindsight. The CogNarr ecosystem is a system designed to facilitate group cognition at scale, leveraging active inference and storytelling. It comprises UCAS-specific front-end apps for constructing, sharing, viewing, discussing, and updating narratives, as well as a back-end system that provides computational services such as story graph construction, integration, translation, and analysis. The system aims to minimize story ambiguity through editing, feedback, and assessment processes, accumulating high-quality narratives over time. In the context of active inference, storyteller relationships can be identified, including interactions between a storyteller and a group, or between the system and a storyteller or group. These interactions involve choosing actions based on beliefs and predictions, with the goal of gaining information or altering conditions. The system can use an active inference model to refine its understanding of a story and storyteller, improving story quality by reducing uncertainty and discrepancies. To assist and guide users, the system can ask intelligent questions about a story, such as character identification, story direction, and missing information. It must understand the story in its current form and predict how its prompts might achieve desired changes. In later versions, the system could expand its role in active inference models, for example, helping users develop policies for action or identifying goals of other players in game, role-playing settings. Core components of the CogNarr ecosystem include front-end apps and a back-end system with various computational services. The project is conceived as an open-source effort, employing governance and administrative systems, providing services and outreach, and supporting research that contributes to cognitive science and tool development. In practice, the CogNarr system forms groups, utilizes stories to facilitate cognition, measures story quality, and encourages cooperative user behavior. By leveraging active inference and storytelling, It aims to enhance individual and group cognition at scale. In the CogNarr ecosystem, users create stories in response to and as part of a story event, which can be either self or group-oriented. A self event is created by an individual for personal use, such as strategizing about a problem or creating a permanent record of beliefs. A group event, on the other hand, is hosted by a group to generate potential solutions to a community problem. The group defines the rules, methods, and procedures for the event, and can decide on member anonymity and event duration. The function of a story is to convey a storyteller's honest beliefs and expectations about a situation. The system does not assess story realism, except when given explicit instructions on how to do so. Instead, group members are responsible for assessing the predictive accuracy of a story as time unfolds. The system provides aids for assessing predictions, including analytic tools and the saved history of stories themselves. Ideally, a storyteller provides information in the right volume and quality to make a story sufficiently clear, concise, consistent, logical, and complete. Stories and beliefs based on sufficient evidence and sound reasoning would tend to be more persuasive to group members than those based on thin evidence or unsound reasoning. The system assesses story quality, focusing on comprehensibility, completeness, internal consistency, timeliness, and relevance. Regarding completeness, are there missing elements or gaps in reasoning, motivation, or action that render the story difficult to understand? Regarding consistency, does the story exhibit an internal logic? Are characters sufficiently defined and reasonably consistent? Regarding timeliness and relevance, does the story address the target situation? Does it conform with any rules defined for the event? The set of rules and policies adopted by CogNarr and by groups should serve to support and encourage an enjoyable, safe, and engaging user experience, healthy and honest communication, the efficient creation of high-quality stories, and ultimately, highly functional group cognition and the empowerment of groups to make a positive difference in the world. Defining and enforcing an optimal mix of rules and policies is a substantial challenge. Addressing these challenges is left for future work, except for a few thoughts on reputation, which can be a useful form of social currency in the CogNarr ecosystem. The CogNarr ecosystem facilitates group cognition at scale by enabling users to create narratives that capture complex decision-making processes, customer service interactions, emergency reports, public polls, instructions, and personal strategizing. These narratives are categorized into 7 use cases, each with its unique characteristics and requirements. The use cases are exemplified through narrative snippets, which demonstrate the diversity of linguistic and knowledge representation phenomena. These phenomena include conditional and deontic modality, anaphora, numbers and arithmetic, tense and coordination, evidentiality, negation, hyponymy, polysemy, meronymy, counterfactual reasoning, spatial deixis, parenthetical context, uncertainty, differential equations, approximation, comparatives, and common sense. The CogNarr system is designed to understand and process these phenomena to facilitate effective group cognition. The system's natural language models face challenges in handling the diversity of linguistic phenomena, including lexical semantics, predicate argument structure, logic, and world knowledge. The system's ability to handle these phenomena is crucial in enabling users to create narratives that accurately capture complex decision-making processes and facilitate group cognition. The use cases and narrative snippets demonstrate the potential of the CogNarr ecosystem in facilitating group cognition at scale, with applications in education, personal strategizing, and decision-making. The system's architecture is designed to accommodate various domains and use cases, with the potential to develop dedicated apps for each use case. The narrative snippets in Table 1 illustrate the diversity of use cases, from decision-making to personal strategizing. The system's ability to handle complex linguistic and knowledge representation phenomena enables users to create narratives that capture the nuances of human thought and decision-making processes. The CogNarr ecosystem has the potential to revolutionize the way groups make decisions, by providing a platform that facilitates effective group cognition and decision-making. By understanding the complexities of human language and cognition, the system enables users to create narratives that accurately capture the decision-making process, leading to more informed and effective decisions. The CogNarr ecosystem is designed to facilitate group cognition at scale by handling diverse linguistic and knowledge representation phenomena in stories. This includes aspects such as hyponymy, polysemy, meronymy, counterfactual reasoning, spatial deixis, analogy, metaphor, and approximators of uncertainty, imprecision, and vagueness. The ecosystem must also accommodate various knowledge representations, including algebraic and differential equations, vectors, charts, tables, logic rules, knowledge graphs, and probabilistic relations. To address these challenges, the CogNarr ecosystem has several key characteristics. Firstly, storytellers cooperate with the system to create stories, allowing for rephrasing and feedback to ensure understanding. Secondly, the system can restrict input to adhere to a categorical grammar formalism, ensuring structural integrity. Thirdly, groups can define domain knowledge to limit complexity, and users can provide metadata to inform processing. Fourthly, the system can utilize multiple inference models and accept various knowledge representations as input. Additionally, the system offers tools to assist with input, such as symbolic equation entry and GUI tools for creating tables and charts. In handling mathematical knowledge, the system can draw upon research on automatically solving math and probability word problems, using techniques like code generation and conversion to intermediate meaning representations. The system is not designed to solve math problems but rather to understand and compute with storytellers' beliefs, which may have exact or approximate mathematical representations. The CogNarr ecosystem is distinct from other online tools and platforms that facilitate group deliberation and decision-making. While platforms like Polis, Lumio, and Console Democracy enable conversations, voting, and opinion gathering, CogNarr focuses on understanding and computing with story meaning, incorporating diverse linguistic and knowledge representation phenomena. The initial design of CogNarr prioritizes minimal usefulness, with the capacity for later expansion towards deeper computational understanding of story meaning. Here is a combined summary of pages 21 and 22 of the research paper. The CogNarr ecosystem is a novel framework that facilitates group cognition at scale, distinguishing itself from existing frameworks like liquid feedback, Decidum, and metagovernance project. CogNarr offers a unique set of features rooted in cognitive science, enabling rich storytelling, analysis, and inference. The system aids in real-time feedback, question asking, and story improvement, making it applicable to various use cases beyond group deliberation and decision-making. The CogNarr ecosystem ensures political equality by allowing each person to submit one story, assessing all stories via a transparent process, and presenting summarized results. This approach prevents voice hiding or filtering, promoting equal participation. The system's flexibility in group operations, transparent procedures, and rules also contribute to political equality. The paper highlights other notable projects, such as the Metagovernance Project, Deliberative Democracy Lab, and research on large group decision-making. These projects focus on building standards for digital self-governance, facilitating online deliberation, and identifying optimal choices for decision-makers. The CogNarr project's ultimate goal is to improve group cognition, which resonates with humanity's deep desire for functional group cognition. This desire is rooted in evolution and is central to cooperation in the biological kingdom. By improving group cognition, CogNarr aims to align human activity with the universal process of learning and optimization. The paper concludes by emphasizing the importance of fulfilling humanity's purpose to learn, adapt, and support intelligence. The CogNarr project represents a reorganization of social processes, institutions, and systems to align with this deep purpose, enabling humans to serve themselves and the greater good more effectively. Title: CogNarr Ecosystem: Facilitating Group Cognition at Scale. The CogNarr ecosystem is a novel approach to enhancing group cognition and decision-making processes by leveraging active inference, narrative information management, and probabilistic programming. This system aims to facilitate collective sense-making, promote sustainable decision-making, and foster resilient communities. Active inference, a fundamental concept in this ecosystem, refers to the process of inferring the world state based on sensory input and prior beliefs. It involves a continuous cycle of prediction, action, and perception, which helps agents make decisions that minimize uncertainty and maximize reward. In the context of group cognition, active inference can be used to model how individuals interact and share information within a community. Narrative information management is another key component of the CogNarr ecosystem. It involves the use of narratives or stories to represent and manage complex information. By organizing data into a narrative structure, individuals can better understand and communicate their ideas, leading to more effective collaboration and decision-making. Probabilistic programming is a programming paradigm that allows developers to specify probabilistic models directly. In the CogNarr ecosystem, probabilistic programming can be used to create predictive models of group behavior, enabling the system to make informed decisions based on the likelihood of different outcomes. The CogNarr ecosystem also incorporates concepts from direct democracy and collective intelligence. Direct democracy refers to a system of government where citizens make decisions directly, rather than through elected representatives. Collective intelligence, on the other hand, refers to the shared or group intelligence that emerges from the collaboration, collective efforts, and competition of many individuals and appears in consensus decision-making. By combining these elements, the CogNarr ecosystem aims to create a more participatory and informed decision-making process. Overall, the CogNarr ecosystem offers a promising approach to enhancing group cognition and decision-making processes. By leveraging active inference, narrative information management, probabilistic programming, direct democracy, and collective intelligence, this system has the potential to foster more resilient and sustainable communities. The CogNarr ecosystem, a system designed to facilitate group cognition at scale, leverages recent advancements in artificial intelligence, machine learning, and cognitive science. This system aims to enhance collective intelligence through the integration of diverse cognitive models, including active inference, which is a fundamental concept in the study of cognition and decision-making. Active inference posits that the brain is an inference machine that constantly predicts and updates its understanding of the world based on sensory input. CogNarr ecosystem's core components include a cognitive cell, which represents the basic unit of cognition, and a cognitive network, which is a complex system of interconnected cognitive cells. The cognitive cell is inspired by the concept of the cognitive cell in biology, where each cell contributes to the overall functioning of the organism. Similarly, in the CogNarr ecosystem, each cognitive cell processes information and makes decisions based on its local environment and interactions with other cells. The cognitive network, on the other hand, is a hierarchical structure composed of multiple cognitive cells. This network enables the sharing of information, coordination of actions, and collective decision-making among the cells. The cognitive network is also influenced by the concept of active inference, as it continuously updates its understanding of the environment and adjusts its behavior accordingly. In addition to these core components, the CogNarr ecosystem incorporates various tools and techniques from machine learning and natural language processing. For instance, it utilizes pre-trained language models to process and generate human-like text, facilitating communication among cognitive cells. Furthermore, it employs graph-based models to represent complex relationships between entities and concepts, enabling the cognitive network to reason about abstract ideas and make informed decisions. Overall, the CogNarr ecosystem offers a novel approach to enhancing group cognition by integrating insights from cognitive science, machine learning, and complex systems theory. By creating a dynamic, adaptive, and interactive environment for cognitive processes, this system has the potential to revolutionize how we understand and facilitate collective intelligence. The CogNarr ecosystem, a novel framework for facilitating group cognition at scale, leverages the collective intelligence of evolution and development. It is grounded in theories such as active inference, informed machine learning, and multi-level learning. This ecosystem promotes the integration of knowledge into learning systems, enhancing the capabilities of pre-trained language models and their applications. Research on pre-trained language models has shown their potential in various tasks, including multilingual parsing and generation, as well as hypothesis search through inductive reasoning. Moreover, studies on graph neural networks for natural language processing demonstrate the power of these models in understanding complex linguistic structures. In addition to these technical advancements, the CogNarr ecosystem also addresses issues related to governance in online communities. By empowering non-programmers to author executable governance policies, it fosters a more inclusive and participatory environment. This is achieved through tools like PolicyKit, which builds governance in online communities, and Pika, which enables non-programmers to create executable policies. Furthermore, the ecosystem explores the concept of ambient technological environments as extended allostatic control, suggesting that our surroundings can be designed to support cognitive processes. This perspective is further supported by research on extending minds and shifting boundaries, highlighting the potential for technology to augment human cognition. Overall, the CogNarr ecosystem presents a comprehensive approach to enhancing group cognition, combining cutting-edge technologies with insights from cognitive science and social theory. By integrating these diverse perspectives, it offers a powerful platform for collaborative problem-solving and collective intelligence.